Good afternoon. My name is Kinoti. I'm an entrepreneur of many years. And first of all, thank you for the opportunity to join and to have, I like what my colleague has said and shared. Now, my journey in entrepreneurship began quite a while, which I'll take you briefly. One, my father was an entrepreneur, and in my growing up, I was joining him in his business. But when I went to university, my shift, I wanted to become a pastor by the time I was leaving university. So I was quite engrossed in becoming a pastor, and I put aside the entrepreneurial activities until later on I got employed in that company I mentioned, that and headquartered in Geneva. And there, when I became the CEO, and I started supporting many micro enterprises in Kenya, supporting also the other offices across Africa and Asia, is when my entrepreneurial spirit started coming back again, as I engaged with many entrepreneurs. And I remember early 90s when I visited Asia, and I saw the efforts, how many people are changing their lives through the enterprise rather than through employment. And that spirit came back again. And later on, as I left that institution, is when I began Fusion Capital, which again became a real and a Pan-African company. And as I answer your question, is that then I created an office in England, in UK this time. The other one was in Switzerland, then I created the UK to mobilize the resources. I know many times I couldn't go to the UK to mobilize foreign resources so that we can come and invest here in Kenya, and which the company was basically involved in supporting SMEs, both either in debt or in equity, and also engaging in the real estate. And that I put my hands on for many years. And until right now, after I returned from Fusion and get caught up in other things, right now I'm involved in Veldman Capital, whereby I'm being involved as an investment advisor to quite a number of SMEs and assist them to do fundraise so that also they can grow their wealth. I will indulge you later as you keep on asking questions. I'll start by sharing this book. How is the camera? Can you see it? My journey in the world of business. I wrote it as the minute I retired. Now, two sides of the coin. You need the money. The other side of it, you need an idea. What is it that to attract the investors, the people with the money? That's the bottom line. When you go to do fishing, how do you attract the fish to yourself? How did I begin Fusion? After I left the former institution, I wanted to begin in business. I was invited in a conference in London, and I was one of the speakers. And I talked great ideas as we are talking today of how I want to begin a bank, how I want to do microfinance, how I want to support and alleviate poverty, the normal thing. Then after we finished, one investor who asked me, and what is your big idea at a personal level? I said, I want to begin a bank. Then he asked me, and why haven't you begun it? That's the question I think you're asking me, Wamgeshi, on behalf of everybody else. Why haven't you begun what you have? Everything begins with an idea. The scientists, they know how to research, they are looking for something. So if you have no idea to begin a business, definitely you'll not begin. And once you have an idea, and I like what you said about Mafuga, who is my friend, that is what you attract. The bigger the idea, the bigger it will attract the big money. The smaller the idea, it also attracts the small money. And I think that's the bottom line. And that's what I've found. The opportunity to raise billions of money. I got challenged one day, I want to fundraise. That time I was so excited to go to fundraise for 500 million Kenya shillings. It was quite a lot of money for me. And when I sat down before the various investors in London, and one of them was kind enough to tell me, Mr. Kinoti, you are too small. And it came back again to me. Am I small in stature? Or what is it small about me? And then I discovered my business idea was too small for him to invest. And that became a challenge to me and to many others as I interact with. Yes, begin small, but let your business idea be big. But there are those who are mentors who begin small, don't see their level. But if you're not the kind to remain small and you want to be an entrepreneur who can create wealth, both for yourself and even for generations, as my colleague has said, then you must think big. And the bigger you are, the more you attract money. And for example, in Kenya and worldwide, investment banking exists to help you fundraise. You have got a big idea, you go out there and you tell that idea to those others investors who have the money. So I agree with that idea that money is not the issue, it's the issue of an idea. Thank you. I'll be a bit different from maybe many. I don't mind when business fail if the entrepreneur himself has not failed. Many small businesses, and I've done it many times, you begin with them, there's no market, as my colleague Kenya said, you have not done good research, or the market has shifted, circumstances have changed, environment has changed, so definitely business will fail. It will not be there. And therefore, I'm not worried when that happens, because an entrepreneur should be able to see this business is not going very far, and therefore they change. So for those who do research and sometimes write these statistics, they realize that I've changed my business model because there's no market, and they can classify it as it's failed. I don't belong to that. I want to shift from there. And therefore encourage every entrepreneur. Your journey is to grow the business and use the business to grow your wealth. And I think I'll agree with my colleagues here. The business is a vehicle. To many small businesses will serve 3 levels. The first level is it gives you employment. You have initiated, you have invested your little money, and it will give you the first employment. You can be the first employer of your business. Then you take up other employees. However, if the market shifts, please do shift. One of the characteristics of an entrepreneur is ability to run the market, to check how the market is doing and get off. Otherwise, you'll be caught up being like another dinosaur in the market that has shifted, particularly if you want to grow. That's one. The next bit of it is that the scalability. One, there are businesses that will definitely scale and become big. The other businesses that they are bound not to become scalable. The issue is that now the entrepreneur himself, is he prepared, has he got that ability to grow his business? Any business can grow because it can shift, but the entrepreneur himself may not have the capacity to grow outside himself. And therefore, we should give room for those also who don't want to go beyond their own capacity. Then there are those others who begin like a Chaco, Sarah, Trenda, and then he builds our whole empire. Such people then are the ones we can talk to right now, that they create opportunities. They are creators of businesses in a big way. And particularly for the young people who have got the future, who have got opportunity right now to go tech. Tech is quite a big business that is there. They have got a great opportunity, one, to begin small. Others, let's not, beginning small helps you build the capacity, build the skills, build the muscle, run the market, know where to do your social capital, whom do you approach for what. You build relationships with the banks, with the various financiers, with the technical support services. And you need all these support services to grow your business from being 1 employee to 2 to 10 to 100. It's our support system. And many of us are not patient. Maybe the next thing entrepreneurs should have is, apart from honesty, they must also be patient. Patient with themselves so that they don't become burnouts even before they have begun, because every night they are thinking about it. So they must run patient with themselves, run to the experience, the failures that come. They should not bring you down, but you should improve on them. That's another skill that every entrepreneur should be able to run, that improving yourself, self-running. And right now, these days, there's a lot of material out there. One of the things I've learned after I wrote my book on entrepreneurship, I wrote another book This one is written, you can't read it. It's written, the angel investor lessons in investment and wealth creation for a secure future. That is part of my book that I've written. And it gives opportunity to let you know that right now, particularly I say this through crowd financing. It's crowd, how do we pronounce it? Venture capital, that you are able to raise money through the internet, through people who are looking for where it can invest. But the issue is, and I'll give this as an example as I conclude. When I went to fundraise, and this experience has lived with me, I went to fundraise. And this is where I was support Kenya. I was in London, and it's quite very good support system. And it told me this, Kinoti, I don't care if you fail in business, but please don't waste my money. That he knows that you give me these billions of shillings, but I should not waste it. If he can come and see this is what the business has done and it has failed, because there's no businessman or woman, big or small, who have never experienced business failure. However, have you wasted the money? My mission that many of us here in Africa, in Kenya in particular, who have a lot of experience and around East Africa, once you go to a financier or an investor and you borrow that money, or once that money comes in your custody, diversion starts coming. You start buying holiday homes. You start buying abroad. And out of 100% money you borrowed, only 60% or 70% get invested in business. And that becomes a source of failure, source of mistrust, and a source of pain to yourself. And might say that the records are out there. Once you don't do well with one investor, the one goes around. It will be circulated, particularly the international market. If you reach a certain size and you are borrowing money, it will go there and they will know you can't trust it, so and so. I fundraise every day. Minimum, many of my normal clients are those who want to borrow, invest about 100 million Kenya shillings plus, that is, yeah. But also I assist every day, even those who are borrowing 10,000 shillings. I've just returned as chairman of a microfinance institution, and I help. So I've got the whole scale from little money to billions of shillings. So I deal with all that, and I'm grateful for that. My pickup from where my colleague has left about getting distracted and becoming a junk of all trade and hopefully a master of all of them. Try your best to have a flagship business which can support all others in case future comes and you may have to diversify. If you can focus, create one business that can grow, and then the others can be subsidiaries if you are cut for that. And when we come as investors, because I've been on the two sides of the coin, I've been an entrepreneur. I'm beginning a new business completely, something I've been having a dream for the last many years, 10 years, and I'm beginning it just right now. That's why I'm doing research. Investors and financiers look for people who are focused. And if you are able to have your dream, which you have packaged professionally, that becomes a win. And one of them is have your business plan or strategic plan, whichever it is fits you. That's one of the things that financiers look for. Very, very, very important. Second, they look for people who themselves who are prepared. You yourself as entrepreneur. If you come to me as a financier and I want you to finance, say, a small portion meal, and then out of now I will start talking about Matatu. Do you also finance Matatu? I'll ask you, did you come for portion meal or do you come for Matatu financing? Remain focused and show it, because we'll discover, people will do research to discover if you are focused or if you are disciplined. I think the key word my colleague talked around, I didn't mention the word clear, is discipline. Are you disciplined to stick on what you are supposed to do? We are looking for entrepreneurs who have a sense of discipline to stick to it until either they are failing, because if you are failing, you can know and you can adjust. You don't have to dig and grave for your business. You can move on before you lose a lot of money. The other thing we must look for, and this we have not mentioned, is cash flow management. Whereas we say money is not the issue to start a business. Cash flow is the everything in your business. Financials, you look for the cash flow to see how, if you have any cash, or how the cash or the business will generate cash for them, because they are really investing to get money. It's not a charity. Even if it's charity, I want to see the services you are offering. So cash flow is extremely very key. The others would like to ask you, they would like to look for collateral, security. It's a security in your character. Very, very important. Can you be trusted? It's a security through tangible assets that you are coming. It's a security based on the business growth that I can be around there. If you allow me to be part of your governance, it's extremely, very, 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 very key. Now I put it this one also, the other part of it is that entrepreneurs, part of, be careful, it doesn't affect your health and family. That is quite key. If you are a young person, you can work many long hours, but also make sure you have time to have a breather. If you have a family, make sure also your family is part of that. I'm sure the one who has written about generational wealth, that's what I'm researching on, it move along with the family. I might say that in Africa, one of the Asian community they have done, as my colleague will say, is that they move along with the family. In Africa, many of us are first generation, so unakuwa solo, you are just one person in Africa. However, time has come that you can envision other family members to join with you, to team up with you, and also they become entrepreneurs, or they can become also managers in the business. Not every entrepreneur is a manager, and not every manager is an entrepreneur. So you can separate the two roles. So many of my listeners this afternoon, as part of is that, do you consider yourself as a manager? Then you can be employed by an entrepreneur and makes the business grow. Do you consider yourself as an entrepreneur? Yes, then you can have a manager to help you grow your business. You may also want to create a team of entrepreneurs and team of entrepreneurs and managers so that I bring in my skills so that you begin as an entrepreneur and go out there. I'm behind in the system, setting up the systems to make sure the business grows. So teamwork, I think that's another area that we may not have to be scared. We may have to agree to become teamwork to bring synergy together so that we can grow. And in the business, each one wants to benefit really. It's not one man take it all, one woman take it all, but you can share. However, as I conclude, the bottom line is character. You can be successful, but if you don't have a character, it's just a matter of time. It will be a house of cards. It will come down. One is that I cherish that I was taught entrepreneurship and the ability to take risk. Decisions, the dreams that you have, will never become a reality until you take risk. Second, I've learned the journey of entrepreneurship the Rome was not built by a solo person. So I've learned to work with other people, to involve others, to consult with many people. Wisdom will be there. The third thing, the final one, is that I've learned the secret to fear God. Because when you fear God, you not do harm to your other networks in the business, financials, friends. You learn to have that integrity. Integrity comes with the knowing and fearing God. And then the rest will follow. The world will follow. Go out to make enterprise. Then wealth will follow if you manage your cash flow properly. That's my conclusion. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.